sewage disposal for the Mingo Circle planning area. Oh, this is a long one for so late in the meeting.
It is, yeah. Do you want to start this?
This is a situation regarding the consent order that occurred back a number of years ago. And basically, the information that we have for the consent order has some, it's my position and TJ's position, the board position, that the information that was submitted in terms of the consent order needs to be substantiated. So the question is, there's different alternatives they put together.
Yeah.
And the question is, were the alternatives substantiated in terms of need? The second question is, were the alternatives as presented something that could have been compatible with funding from the two basic funding sources, which would be RUS, Rural Utility Services, and PENVA. And what TJ advised me, but in the report, they had people up there spending in excess of, what, $120 a month for a user rate?
In 2019, yeah, the recommended alternative, the monthly payment per EDU is approximately $125
Which is,
per month.
from my experience, and I've been involved with these projects over the years, that's rather high.
Very high.
And the question is, would you even get PennVest funding to do the project with that type of user rate? And the second question I have is, you don't normally do a consent order unless you have someone breathing down the neck from DEP to do the situation. So it's, I guess, my recommendation, TJ's recommendation, that we should submit another letter to DEP requesting another conference in Pittsburgh to discuss situations we're having with this project, because if you would authorize the project to go forward, you may not get funding for it.
I agree.
So that's an issue. So that's basically my summary of what we discussed.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
The township received a letter from the department on January 24th requesting an update as to the township's position and its implementation schedule. Banks and Engineers has performed a review of the 537 plans that were generated in 2019, one by Senate, one by Harshman. And we have taken the project costs, the debt service determinations, and the operation and maintenance costs, and updated them from that 2019 time frame to essentially the present day. There were 9 alternatives that were analyzed by Senate in April of 2019, and one additional alternative in November of 2019 that was analyzed by Harshman. So we have reviewed each of those, provided a synopsis of the engineering effort that's taken place to this point, and provided our summary to the board. I think Dennis's suggestion is a good one in terms of continuing the conversation with the department. And I also think it would be prudent to take a look at each of those cost estimates, not just the total, and taking them from 19 to 24, but also looking at the details of each cost estimate and trying to essentially prepare a cost estimate that would look at 2 different alternatives, one being going to the pump stations, which go to Peters Creek Sanitary Authority, and the other option of the treatment plant, and essentially having a good idea. Banks and Engineers doesn't have access to the design files that were used to put together these previous engineering efforts. So I think it would be wise to look at the drawings that were included in those plans that DEP reviewed and come up with our own cost estimate that, to verify those.
And we would
so that we can compare the alternatives.
And the township would need those cost estimates in order to go forward with seeking funding from PennVest, RUS,
Right.
Commonwealth Financing Agency. And if the user rate is composed of two aspects,
Mhm.
operation and maintenance and debt service. If that rate's too high, they're gonna scratch, RUS or Penvest will scratch you off on this.
Is there any grant, there's no grant money available for this project to the township right now? I mean, like, there's no grant money we have open for this project.
Well,
I mean, we're applying, obviously, but right now, we don't have grant money sitting somewhere for this project.
Well, there's the one LSA grant, I believe, for,
And that was for design.
no, remember I sent you something, it's that non-matching, that's what we talked about?
I think they got two grants. One was in the amount of, I believe, 300,000, which
Yep.
they spent in
This is the
preparing
design.
the 537 plan.
Right.
And I believe that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the township got a second grant from LSA in the amount of 500,000 towards the project cost.
But I thought, but the question is, I thought Michelle was asking, is there grant money right now to do the project? You have that new LSA money.
We have 500,000, so if we have 500,000, if it is this project.
Right.
How much is this project? Was it based on their cost estimate?
The present day, the,
And again, you did,
Yeah.
2.7, wasn't it?
present day, for the option of the pump stations to Peters Creek Sanitary Authority, roughly 3.3 million, and, the treatment plant was roughly 3.3 million as well.
so 500,000 isn't close. That's what we need to get that project under.
And correct. And to Dennis's point, Penvest or RUS, as the two main funding avenues for a project of this magnitude, they're gonna look at the municipality's affordability. And they're gonna evaluate the average median household income and establish what they would consider an affordable monthly payment for a water project or a sewer project, in this case, a sewer project.
How much it costs and how many people they're dividing it against.
Correct.
And how much that monthly.
Correct, and Penvest would use that to, prepare their funding offer, whether that be some grant money, combination of grant money or loan money, et cetera.
And
So,
sometimes they'll say your project's too expensive. And basically they'll say, you're ineligible.
It's just another one of those things there seems to be confusion about, because there was a newsletter in 21 that said it was coming in the fall. And so, we're not close. I don't wanna lie to anyone, we're not close to this funding that's needed for this project at all. I
I thought what we discussed was the intelligent path forward, contacting the DEP and sitting
Yeah.
down with them.
That's what we talked, as we said at the beginning of the discussion.
DEP is going to expect that the township provides them with the desired course of action and an implementation schedule.
So I get a lot of people from that area at my business, and they thought somehow we stopped the project. But the money's not there, it was never there.
The question is it a doable project financially?
Mhm.
So the township will submit a letter to DEP requesting another conference in Pittsburgh to discuss the outstanding issues that need addressed, because right now, the question is the information that the township has in its possession valid information?
Are we gonna ask for the data that was used to justify the need for the thing also that's missing?
It's my understanding that TJ's already been in touch with DEP and requested that, and he's not received anything. But then, it's my understanding that someone's gonna contact RC Cassidy at the Sewage Council to see if he has any information, which I'll make you bet they don't have it, because they've moved their offices and so forth, which then creates another problem for us.
I think we ought to make the request.
We are.
Again,
And can also make a request to RC Cassidy at Sewage Council.
Okay, so from Bankson at this time, I understand Dennis will prepare the letter to the department. Bankson will perform a cost estimate for each of the alternatives that were listed. Because I believe that will be more comprehensive of a review than just updating costs from 19 to 24. We need to evaluate the unit prices, we need to look at the details of each cost estimate. And would you like us to reach out to the Sewage Council as well regarding their previous surveys for need?
of Washington County
I
Sewage
think I
Council
talked to them
representative
before.
on the board.
Okay.
Nate,